We rolling?
We're rolling.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Let's go.
All right. So, this is the beginning of a new channel called Lonelypreneur. Now, we're going to talk about why we're doing this on this channel. You're going to meet Mike in a moment. We're both entrepreneurs, well, business owners, I would say, small business owners, and as you'll probably appreciate if you're in the same position, it can be very, very lonely out there. Hence the name of the channel, Lonelypreneur. So this is for you. If you're a solopreneur, finding it really, really difficult, struggling in your business and you have no one to speak to, we've got a few things that I think, from a selfish point of view, would definitely help me be more productive, and I'm sure it will help Mike as well. But yeah, join us on this journey, and we have a few call to actions at the end of this, but we just want to kind of give you a flavor of what to expect and how we hope that we can help each other in being successful in our own businesses. So, Mike.
No, this is good. It's exciting.
We've been speaking like this for a while, haven't we?
Yeah, it's 20 years in the making, I guess, and it's just come to fruition. But I think the thing that sort of sparked this was the conversation we had the last time we went to London, and you were talking about burnout.
Yeah.
And I think at that point it was, I knew that was something that happens to me all of the time because I work in a 4x3 box pretty much all of the time. So I think when you're in your own space, you just don't see anybody really, and you're just looking at your screen. So I think when you get to a point where you go, okay, I need to actually get out of these four walls and experience other things or meet new people, connect, and just hit the reset button.
Yeah.
And I think this Lonelypreneur came from that, to say, what would it be if we built a community of people that were in the same position and then could call on each other for either just being in the same room, obviously online, but being in the same space, being able to converse and bounce off each other. So yeah, I think I'm excited for myself because I need it. Like, it's something that I've been talking about for a while, not Lonelypreneur and this same guys, but it's definitely been something I've been thinking of for the longest time. I know you have. And I know in your space where you are in what you do since, for the last 5 years, isn't it? Yeah.
So this is the thing. It's like, you've been in business a lot longer than I have. So I've been in business now for 5 years. You're probably heading on to what, 15?
That's
crazy to say that, 15 years.
Yeah, I think it might be a bit more than that, even that. Well, let's go way back. From how I started getting into business for myself was from a website that we decided to put together called yeah.com, right? Sounds embarrassing now, but at the time it was, how old had I been? About 18, 19, I think, when we was having a conversation about how we're going to make money. And it was, I remember us talking about setting up this, let's take people to go to a club and do a coach and get people tickets and stuff like that. Right. And then it quickly transpired that actually that was going to be a decent amount of upfront cost, money that we didn't have. It was like, oh man, this was Facebook, I think, was at that point, or it just came in. And we were like, do you know what? We could build our own social media and just be a social media giant at that point. Anyway, I think, I embarked on learning something and trying to build my own websites, and that's where I got into doing this for myself. So for people that don't know me, of course, none of you do. My main role, or the business that I started way back then, was doing web design and web development. So I'm still doing that to this day, but it doesn't look the same as it did back then. And the journey that I've been on is constant self-learning. Constant, not spiritual learning, but learning new tools and things that help me in my business to this day. And now we're in a situation where AI is on our shoulders, and we're having to learn this new landscape as well. And again, it can make this environment more lonely again. So anyway, jumping about now in terms of,
but you've had
dates.
it's about 15 years, probably a little bit longer.
Yeah, a bit longer because of the learning and doing it as a side hustle.
Right.
And then I think about 15 years ago, because it was before my son was born, actually, my wife was pregnant at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when...
Great time to start your own business, mate.
I know. I took a wage drop as well.
Yeah.
That I didn't
But
confess.
isn't that the entrepreneurial journey, though?
I think
Oftentimes
so.
it's always... Yeah, it's risk, and it's always at an inopportune time. Because there is never a right time to do it. You just make the jump.
I think that is the case through the whole time, the whole journey. I think there's obviously people out there that can go, right, I've planned every single thing, and every step that I've planned, it's worked out.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that is true, but in my experience, you set goals and you try and achieve those goals, and not always will they work out the way you planned. Yeah. But there's going to be certain things you learn on that journey that's going to take you through something else. And then it's go, right, there's a new opportunity that's just arose that maybe I can put my either skill set through to, or learn something that attaches to what you currently do to then move on to that next hurdle. But for me, it was 15 years ago jumping into doing web full time with a baby on the way.
You watched YouTube videos as well to learn it as well, which
YouTube was...
It's kind of ironic, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it all started with, especially with yeah.com, and what we were doing with 9 on 10 magazine at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish back in the day we actually continued doing this now, because this was prior to Grime Daily and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just
was it around about the same time?
I think it was around about the same sort of time, to be fair. I do remember some of the things that we were trying to do, especially on 9 on 10 magazine, with the interviews and things like that. Yeah. And then some of the stuff I was trying to do with web was a little bit more advanced because it wasn't really ready for what we wanted to do. It's like these online experiences that you see now. But at the time, it was using Flash, and you shouldn't have been using Flash. So if there's any developers out there that are like cringing at the toolkit that I would have used, then feel free to. But it's let's just say that we muddled through and got something, and it could have been something. But again, this is the thing, you go on your own journeys, and then I think at that point I was still employed and doing it on the side. So this was prior to me starting it as a business. So it gave me the toolkit that I needed to then move into business for myself. And then you start to find out, well, actually, there's a whole ton of things that I don't know. How do I get work? How do I do my accounts? How do I make sure that I've paid the right amount of tax? How am I more efficient with the amount of tax I am paying? Do I open a limited company, or am I a sole trader? Or am I VAT registered, or am I not? Like, all of those things you do not think about before starting a business. You just know the thing that you want to do and think, well, I could get paid for that. So I'll go out there and get paid. But
it's weird that you say that, because I think, my background is, is obviously in the financial world, finances. So I kind of understood going into it how to set up a business, what I needed to do in terms of corporation tax. But that's only because it was a byproduct of me doing my day job. Yeah,
and I think your journey is different to mine, because you had a bit of a dip your toe in the water situation with one of the other companies that you worked with that allowed you that space to make it your own business, but you had them to lean back on. Whereas when you then went on your own, it was all you.
Yeah, true. And
at a time when I don't think anyone felt at ease either.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, looking back in hindsight now, for the 5 years that I have been on my own, I wouldn't say, were there a lot of things that I wish that I could have fixed initially? It was blissful ignorance. And to be honest, I was in that phase where I didn't have any choice. It was like, you either do this or you don't. And the world was in the place where it's like, well, I couldn't go out and get another job anyway. So I thought, I might just do it anyway.
I think for the people that are potentially watching this that don't know who you are,
right,
bearing in mind where the outlet that this is going to be on, explain what it is that you're doing from this last 5 years. What did you start, and what are you continuing to do now?
So I'm already on YouTube. So I already have 2 channels on YouTube already. My main channel is a finance channel where I talk about the economy, investing, all that kind of stuff. And I use that as an educational tool, which has led me to do my book, which was in 2023, done a load of stuff on TV. And then my second channel is covering my move to Dubai over the last year or so. So this third channel, in conjunction with you, is, like I said, kind of a selfish project on my side, because I wake up in the morning, and yes, it's sunny outside, but I know how hard and difficult it is to stay to a routine. And sometimes I'm my worst enemy sometimes, especially when you get at your desk and you get a notification on your phone, you pick it up and it's like, scroll, 20 minutes gone by. And I remember when I wrote my book in 2023, because I had to turn it around relatively quickly, I actually joined like a focus group. And it was 2 hours, focus work, everyone logged in, and you just knocked out through work. So I was writing, you know, probably 5,000 to 10,000 words a day for like 2 weeks, trying to get the book done. And that's the idea for this.
Yeah.
It's helping other people in the same position as us to kind of get through their weekly tasks and focusing on their goals and having an accountability circle, really, to be honest.
Yeah, and break that curse of procrastination.
Yeah.
Because that's a beast. That
yeah.
It's one of those things where I think for me personally, I can have at any given stage quite a lot of tasks on my plate. And I find that if I have too many tasks at the same time,
it's dread.
Well, the problem for me is that nothing gets done.
Yeah.
If there's a deadline for something, then that's when things get done, and I stay up round the clock to make sure it gets done. But if I'm being harsh on myself, I could have probably optimized my time and finished projects way earlier.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the designer thing, and you know, in my industry, it's a common sort of inside joke. I don't know if it's the same for every industry, but the inside joke is that we have this scope of work and a time frame, but we'll leave it all the way up to the last sort of 10% of time that we've got left to then do it.
But that is kind of synonymous with creators and creative mindsets, maybe, because I've seen exactly the same thing. And I'm exactly the same. I work best under pressure. Yeah. And if it's in a creative capacity, I come up with better ideas.
Yeah.
Because I'm pressed.
On the spot. Yeah.
But then I'm stressed out and I'm like, why did I leave it this late?
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. If we can do something here in a community fashion where we can create this environment where people can join and we all lock in for an hour to get our own independent work done, I think that is at least, and again, like you say, it's selfish for you, but it's selfish for me also, to be able to go, right, okay, I know for that period of time, I'm locked in. I tried it with the egg timer thing. With the, I
did it with the digital part.
I did it with the thing, I turned the timer, waited for the alarm.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me. Yeah. It just didn't. I've done it with, I've got a lovely like wooden notepad thing where I can write down my tasks, put that in. I've got a nice pen, everything. That didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this works for me because it has to. I mean, I'm not suggesting that I'm in a really bad place that I can't get work done. I am getting work done, but I want work to be done way more efficiently than it currently is. And not only that, but the lonely element of it is real. Like obviously, you know, we speak to each other regularly, I would say, and you're now in Dubai, I'm in England, and there's that divide. But also when you're trying to then communicate with others in my industry, we're all working remotely as well. So you don't really bounce off people too much. It's very much, here's the project, crack on with it and move on. And then when I have to then come into the new business element of my work, that takes a back seat a lot of the time because work that I've got on is needed. So then you're kind of juggling all of these different things, wearing these different hats. And then by the time you come back to sort of like sit down of an evening, so what is it all for, sort of thing. So I think for me, it would be a case of get clarity on what I'm doing, set some solid goals and work to achieve those goals. Yeah. Like for me, my business, it's quite fluid. I am my own boss, and therefore I have to put my own pressures on to go, right, this has to be done. I could choose just to stay in bed.
But then you don't get paid.
Don't get paid. But I've also had situations where I've worked my ass off and still not got paid. So sometimes I'd rather just go, do you know what? I'm going to play PlayStation for a bit. Sometimes. But yeah, to then go to the next step and try and progress in business, I think is where I think this would help me.
Yeah. So I think probably this might be worthwhile just outlining what we want to do. So my initial thought was because, and again, going back to the focus group, right in the book, you know this. Mm-hmm. It was stressful as anything. I mean, the Christmas was a write-off. The New Year's was a complete write-off. And just going into those groups where you have like almost a community feel, you have to have accountability. Now on YouTube, obviously we can't have via the live stream function, that element where everyone talks about what they've actually done and what they've actually achieved. We'll bring that into the community a little bit later on. But the fact that you'll be able to join us on a weekly basis on a Monday and with us, work alongside us, setting goals and just powering through the work, I think is going to be a huge kind of helping tool for people that are in our position. Because I know that if I've got someone on the opposite side of the screen, I feel like I'm more accountable to the fact that I've said I'm going to do this, I'm going to get it done within the hour allocated and just power through it, at least get as much of it done as possible. Yeah. And I think for me, that will up my productivity. And because I always get into the habit of, there are certain things that I don't like doing. And those are always the last things to do. Yeah. And I know I've got to do it. And when it gets to the point where I've not done it and I've left it too late, I can't actually do the things I like to do. Yeah. So I hope to be able to use that time to focus on, yes, the productive stuff that I like to do, but also power through those things that, frankly, I just absolutely hate on a day-to-day basis, which is generally just admin. Yeah. And all of the small bits.
And I think the other thing as well is just to bear in mind, we do this by choice. It's not like we've, there's no gun held to our head to say you must run your own business. Yeah. I think the reality is that we see it as there's flexibility in it. And it does empower you to have that. But by the same token, you are in charge of how you manage your time. Yeah. And I think it becomes quite quick. It's quickly apparent that if you're not good at managing your time, it's a real struggle. Yeah. And I think you can watch I learned how to code watching YouTube, and I've tried to learn productivity on YouTube, but there's nothing like just doing it. Yeah, yeah. You
it's
have
the
to
application of it.
Have to just do it. And I think trying all these different methods, some of them get me closer to where I want to be. And maybe we'll discuss, further down the line, which methods work best for people. And maybe we can give each other tips and, we can all get there together. But I think at the very beginning, just having an hour where you can go, well, that's going to be the time that I dedicate to doing the jobs that I don't like to do. And I know I can get it done, and then I can hold myself to account. Yeah. And maybe it's an accountability hour or whatever we want to call it at that point. But ultimately, it's going to be, right, I'm going to lock in for that time, get it done, and feel at ease about that.
And the way I see it is, on YouTube, because it will be effectively a live stream, what we'll all do, because we'll see who's in the chat, we'll ask people to actually put in their task in the chat and then appraise what they've been able to do. Yeah. Rate their success levels on that, and I think that will hold a little bit of accountability. But we're also going to do like a Slack, aren't we?
Yeah. So we'll create an online Slack channel for the community, so that you can then have conversations amongst each other. But also, just touching back to the live hour, what I would hope that in time we do as well. It might not happen straight away. It depends on how many people we've got, different industries, etc. But once you register for the community, it would be good if on that hour we can give the floor to individual businesses so that they can speak about themselves. And maybe it could turn into a bit of a networking opportunity for people as well. Because again, we've all got to do it. We've all got to get out there and meet people and find out how we can drum up business and then all the rest of it. And we all don't like doing it. Well, I think there may be some people that love it, but majority of people that I've met don't like doing it.
And to be honest, that's probably the most important part of doing, because there's this phrase, working in the business and working on the business. Yeah. And one thing I've found is you have to make conscious effort to actually work on the business, because most of the time you're working in the business. Yeah. Doing all the mundane stuff and the things that have to be done, working on the business and networking and drumming up new contacts that end up being new business. That bit is hard. It's very, very, very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also, though, touching on Lonelypreneur and what it's going to be, because I think for this first episode is really more of an introduction.
Yeah.
And being frank or honest, this is in its infancy. What we want to do, there's plans to do more things going forward. But I think where we want to sort of touch on as well is that building this community is to help everybody.
Yeah.
And within this, at the moment, Pete and I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Everyone's there.
Yeah.
Pete and I are members of the same community that you will join, hopefully. So I can bring my experience in my business, and Pete also will bring his experience in his business, which will allow the finance side of things. On my side, I deal with tools and systems within businesses, as well as web, obviously. So there's certain things there I think that we can help with other businesses that might, or individuals that will join the community as well. And then hopefully we can build something that feels quite unique and natural for everybody, that they feel at ease to have that conversation with each other.
Absolutely. And again, this is very much kind of like a selfish pursuit, but I do think generally that there's a lot of people who are just starting out in business, or they've been in business for some time, they're still on their own in their business, or maybe they have a small team that still find it really, really lonely. Yeah. And I found that the hardest thing sometimes in business is actually having people that you can pick up the phone to and just ask questions. Yeah. Or pass, run a problem by. Get an outside perspective. Because when you're in it, sometimes you're in your own little bubble, your own existence. You don't necessarily think outside of the box, and an external point of view often is what you need.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, within the business side of things, we won't touch on it too heavily in this one, but there's all the various facets of, mind, finances, everything around that. We won't touch on this because it's a much wider conversation, and maybe we'll touch on it in a separate one. But how do you want to wrap this up? Because obviously, being an introduction, I think let's let people know how.
So I think, look, if we have any ask of you guys, the ask will be subscribe to the channel so that you know what we're doing, when we're going to be live each week. Join the Slack. It's going to be linked in the comments and linked in the description and pinned in the comments. And, just start the journey with us. Our hope is that as we are able to use it to our benefit, you'll also get benefit from it as well. And as the community grows, we'll be able to introduce kind of tools and packs, all kinds of stuff, both on my side, because I'm around the finances. So as a business owner, how do you actually separate your business income from your personal income? We're all in business to make money at the end of the day, right? To pay for our bills and family, and hopefully make money so we can invest it and actually build wealth. That's my area of expertise. Mike's on systems, that kind of stuff that will help you grow your business. We'll talk probably a little bit about AI on your own channel as well, which is a big topic now.
That's a whole separate conversation, I think, which I imagine when this goes live, that channel doesn't exist yet. But yeah, I've realised that, and I don't want to sort of waffle on any more than I already have, but in my business, or most businesses, you feel that you need to be pushing content nowadays, especially in the world of AI. It's getting harder and harder to differentiate between what's real and what's not. And I don't mean on the news side of things. I mean generally in marketing, and how people converse with each other is getting harder to differentiate. And especially within the marketing side of things, how do you market your business if you don't put your face to it now? It's a very saturated space, but it's authentic when it comes from yourself and from within. And I still believe that even with AI, and I do have another business that is in AI, so I'm an advocate for it, but I do believe that the human touch is as important. And I do feel that will be the case forevermore, because I believe also that humans will always want to interact with other humans. So I don't think we'll lose it. I do feel that it's a scary space at the moment. But hopefully I can alleviate some fears, even if some of them are my own fears as well. So yeah, we'll touch on that soon enough.
Yeah, and we will cover other topics that are common discussions and things that we should talk about as entrepreneurs. The headspace, You know, what happens when, you know, your revenue dips? How much should you charge in the first place? I mean, that's always a big thing. Like, what I charge now is very different to what I charged 5 years ago. Constantly questioning, how much should I charge for a particular job? We'll talk about all those types of things on episodes like this. Maybe not in this setting because I'll be in Dubai, but we'll have productive conversations as well. So go and join the Slack. It's pinned in the comments and it's linked in the description, and we'll see you for the next one. Cheers.